Greetings! It is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. Today is time to continue our talks about Pathfinder. So today, when talking about Pathfinder, I want to continue our discussion on the combat rules. So we're going to bring in some new stuff about it. Let's start with the actual attack roll. Now the attack roll is going to be your d20 roll plus whatever bonuses you have to that type of combat roll. Now 1 is an automatic miss, and a 20 is an automatic hit and a possible critical threat. I'll describe what that means a little later. Now there are two types of attacks, melee and ranged. If we're making a melee attack, I roll the d20, I add my base attack bonus, I add my strength modifier, I add my size modifier or penalty, and I add miscellaneous bonuses and I figure out how much I get to hit. For range, I would add my base attack bonus again, add my dexterity modifier, the same penalties or bonuses from size, and of course, again, any modifiers I have to that type of ranged attack. Now, the number you're supposed to hit with these attack rolls is AC. A thing's base AC is equal to 10, plus its armor bonus, plus its shield bonus, plus its dex bonus, plus some other modifiers. Now the base modifiers most people will have are enhancement bonus, which are magical bonuses, deflection bonus, which is sort of like an energy type shield, a natural armor bonus, which means you have like tough skin, a size bonus or penalty, and a dodge bonus, which a few feats and classes can give that bonus to AC. There are other less common things which can be added to one's AC. I'm not going to go over all of them right now, but there are other types of bonuses that can apply. Bonuses that apply to AC don't stack with each other unless it's dodge. It's the only one that specifically says it stacks with each other. Other ones it will mention if it stacks. Otherwise, you consider it not to stack. Okay? That's the basics of it. It will say, this stacks with this. Otherwise, if I have an armor bonus and I try to wear another set of armor, it's not going to stack. Now you might have to deal with touch AC. Touch AC is someone's AC with their armor, shield, or natural armor. When something says it's a touch attack, you ignore those 3 stats and go after their whatever the number would be left over for a total AC. Normally this is just dex, but of course things like deflection would continue to add to that. Now incorporeal creatures always go for touch, but there's an exception. There are anything that counts as a force effect would still apply to armor or shields if you have them against incorporeal creatures' touch attacks. Now rolling damage. Every weapon, attack, anything will tell you how many dice you roll. For whatever reason, if there's a penalty to that roll that would reduce your number below 1, you still do 1 non-lethal. So for whatever reason, if I'm, let's say, rolling a d6, and I have a penalty to my strength of 2, and I roll a 1, which would give me a -1, I don't do -1 damage. Instead, I do 1 non-lethal because I still hit you. I just bludgeoned you instead of stabbing you. Now your strength bonus applies as a bonus to weapon damage. So if I'm attacking with a sword or something, I would apply my strength bonus as bonus damage. There are a few times where you can do it to ranged attacks, but it's a lot rarer. Most of the time when you're doing it to ranged attacks, it's thrown attacks. If I throw something at someone, I can apply a strength bonus. Now penalties can also apply. So if I have a negative strength, if I have like a strength of 8, which gives me a -1 modifier, that will apply to a lot of these circumstances too. It will tell you when they apply. Now there are also times where I might have 2 weapons in a hand. They have rules for this, but you have to consider that when I'm doing it with my offhand, I only add half my strength bonus to it, or my full strength penalty. Now if I'm using a 2-handed weapon, normally I'm going to be doing this if I have a lot of strength, because I add 1.5 times my strength. So I have a strength of 18 with a modifier of 4, I'd be doing +6 damage with a 2-handed weapon, because I got 2 hands on it, can get extra leverage. In any circumstance where you have to multiply damage, which there are definitely times where it'll tell you to multiply damage, you roll all the damage more than once. So if I have 2d6 plus 2 as my damage, I'd roll those 2d6, I'd add 2, and then I do the entire attack again, which I mean I do another 2d6 plus 2. So I could get, it would be 4d6 plus 4 total. Now if there's anything that adds extra dice, like sneak attack or anything special like that, they do not multiply when something tells you to multiply. Now, when talking about your hit points, if your hit points reach -1, you're dying. It means I'm unconscious, I'm down, I'm on the ground. Hit points are mentioned by your class, your constitution modifier is added to them. When we're taking damage, we can hit or dying. If we hit our constitution score, we are dead. So if I'm at -1, I'm lying on the ground dying. If I get to, let's say my constitution's 10, and I get to -10, I am dead. So now I'm going to bring up the basics of attacks of opportunity. An attack of opportunity occurs when you have a lapse of defense and leave yourself open. Now, normally, in order to make an attack of opportunity, you have to threaten a square. You normally threaten within your reach. For a normal medium-sized creature such as myself, I threaten everything adjacent to me, all the squares adjacent to me. Now, I can have certain weapons which can increase that reach, and therefore increase my threat range, but they have their own rules for what I'm actually threatening and not threatening, and it will tell you under the rules of reach weapons. Now, on your turn, when I make an attack of opportunity, it can be when someone opens up their defenses by doing some kind of act which would leave them distracted and open to the attack, or if they're moving within my threat range. So if I'm threatening someone here and they move very far and they start moving and making a full move out of that spot, they'd open myself up to my attacking them, to my swinging a weapon at them and getting an attack of opportunity. Now you can only get one attack of opportunity a turn. There are ways of getting more of them, but it's based on classes, and feats could give you extra ones. But normally, just a normal character is only going to get one on their turn, regardless of how many are incurred around them. Now, should I have multiple attacks of opportunity, I could only get so many on the same creature. If that creature moves within my area, I can only get one movement-based attack of opportunity. If they do distracting act, and I would have an extra attack of opportunity, I could do it to the same creature, but otherwise I couldn't. It's, for each creature, you can only have one attack of opportunity per type of action that provokes it. Now you can move on your turn. You can move up to your speed. If you wish to, you can move up to twice your speed, but that's your entire turn then. That would be moving around the board tactically. Normally you could either use this, just describing it, where I could say like, you're 60 feet away from this guy. You might have moved 60 feet up to him. Or you could have it on like a grid. You're allowed to use that each square would be 5 feet of movement. Both of these are proper ways of judging tactical, either just by describing it or by using a board. And you can use your speed. Again, you can either move 30 feet or you could move double move on your turn. Now you are allowed to run on your turn. You would move at 4 times your speed, and it has to be in a straight line, meaning it's an under a straight line. I could run just straight forward. That is another option of something you can do on your turn. Now I want to mention saves. Here's the last thing I want to mention today. Saves is a d20 roll. It's going to be when you're affected by some kind of special attack or special effect. It'd be a d20 plus whatever base save you're using, plus whatever ability score is relevant to that save, plus any special modifiers. Now there are 3 saves: Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. Your Fortitude is based on your Constitution, so it will tell you if I get Fortitude, what kind of bonus. Your class will tell you what kind of bonus you get to Fortitude. You would add your Constitution modifier, any kind of special modifiers you have it. This is based on Vitality, Toughness. This would be against poisons or diseases. Next is Reflex. Reflex is based on Dexterity. Again, your class will tell you what bonus you get to your Reflex. You'd add your Dexterity, any modifiers. This is dodging out of the way, avoiding attacks, avoiding special attacks like Dragon Breaths or Fireballs. And the last one is Will. Will is based on your Wisdom. You add your base for whatever your class is. You add your Will modifier and any modifiers. This is attacks based on your mind or your mental ability. Fear effects would do this, or charm effects would go under your will. So that's all I want to talk about today. I've gone over some more basic rules. I talked a little bit about attacks, AC, saves, movement on the board, when you would be dying. If you have any questions or comments, anything you want to say, think of anything that I really left out about this, leave it in the comments below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. It shows your support for the channel. Please also subscribe if you already haven't. It's another way of showing your support and showing that you enjoyed this content. And please share this video with anybody you think would enjoy this video or would learn anything from it. And until the next time, I bid you farewell.